How do you screw up a science fiction movie? The answer is it's not simple to do so. You need spaceships, big monsters, explosions, great soundtrack, maybe some great effects, okay? I've seen B-rated science fiction movies, and we're talking the old Godzilla movies here, okay? That you could see the rubber suit, you could see the little fish lines on the spaceship, and even those were a lot better than this movie was. This is my review of Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets here on Midnight's Premiere.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey guys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As I said in my intro, this is my review of Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets, and oh my god, why? Okay? And it wasn't even the fact that it was so, okay, let's just get into this. Alright? So, I'm going to take you back a few years, back into the 1940s, 1950s, when the Valerian comics came out. Okay? And these were really popular comic series back in the day. I mean, they ranked up there with the DC and Marvel, Batman, Superman, Fantastic Four. They ranked right up there. And even in interviews, okay, with George Lucas, which is the director of episodes 1 through 6 of Star Wars, you know his name, you know Star Wars. He even said in an interview that he took some cues from Valerian, from the Valerian comics, that kind of inspired some of his ship designs, like the Millennium Falcon and the X-Wing, things of this nature. Okay, so you have all of this history, and yet you make one of the most boring movies on the face of this planet, or on the face of 1,000 planets. So what I loved about this movie was not much. Okay, they had great effects. Okay, the CGI on in this movie was fantastic. There was no blockiness. There was no, just, it really looked real in some cases, like the skin texture and everything. Fantastic. All right, but that's pretty much the acting. Actually, wasn't even bad. The actors and actresses looked like they were having an okay time with their roles, but I didn't like very much of it, so I'm not even going to go into that category. So what was wrong with this movie was so vast, and it's really sad because the trailers were cut together so great. It was postmodern, and the soundtrack was amazing, and the effects on there were great, and it really looked like you were getting a top-notch story in Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets, and it was just boring. It was mind-numbingly slow. I almost, and I don't know whether or not it was because I was tired before going into the theater, but I almost fell asleep 3 times in this movie, and I'm not even joking. And I've only fallen asleep in 2 movies, and one of them was because I was working a really odd shift, and I didn't get enough sleep before going to the theater. But it was a great movie regardless. Just fell asleep. But this one was just boring. The soundtrack was terrible. First of all, there weren't really any explosions. The chase scenes that they had in the movie were lackluster. The writing was terrible. It was forced in some cases, and Cara Delevingne is a very good example of the forced dialogue here. Her character in Laureline, Major Laureline, who is the love interest to Valerian, and just the female counterpart to the main character. So you had Valerian and then Laureline. They're the 2 main characters of the whole movie. Cara Delevingne's acting and her dialogue was just terrible. It was really forced. I felt it was forced. It wasn't good. Okay, it frustrated me to the point of almost walking out of the theater. So, man, if I had to give this if I had to give this any kind of rating at all, okay, and see some light at the end of the tunnel, if I had to give it a rating at all, Crescent Moon. It is a crescent moon all the way around because it is a science fiction movie. You do have spaceships, you do have aliens, you do have a storyline that has a lot of potential, but it was unrealized potential, and it was just boring. So you take a movie that could have been a franchise starter, that could have competed with the likes of Star Wars, maybe, it's a huge maybe, because the newest Star Wars coming out is going to break all kinds of records, I think, in December, like its counterpart did last December, 2 years ago. So, Crescent Moon, all the way around. If you want my opinion on experience, don't waste your money in the theaters, because they are pushing heavy on 3D with this movie, and it was a little sickening. I was forced to see it in 3D because there was only 2 showtimes for regular formats, and it was way past the time where I was at the theater anyway, or even at work. So if you want the experience with it, I would go matinee if you really have to. If the kids really want to see it and you just want to get them out of the house and keep them quiet for 2 hours, this is the movie you go see. Go at matinee price, pay about $5 to $8 for it, and then go home. And if you just want to see it and you don't want to pay the theater price for snacks or whatever, just rent it on Redbox. I will say rent it on Redbox so you can get that experience at home, but don't buy it for yourself. Just yeah. So Crescent Moon all the way around. Have you guys seen Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets? Comment below. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your opinion was on this movie. And that about wraps it up for this review. If you guys liked what you saw, click the like button right down below. If you want to keep up with all the latest news and videos here on Midnight's Premiere, click the subscribe button for more. My name is Mr. Midnight. Thank you so very much for watching, guys.